The home of common sense. Talk Radio and Talk TV.
Hello and a very good evening to you. It's Petrie here with you until 1 o'clock, and we have got a phone in for you at midnight. Would you fight to defend your country, this country, Britain? Would you be prepared to fight to defend this country? That's the question I'm going to be asking you at midnight. The number you're going to need to join in with the conversation is 0344 499 1000. If not, why not? So do give me a call. Now, though, there's another kind of battle going on, and that's, of course, the award season is upon us, and the Academy Award nominations of 2024 are in. And to talk us through them is Van Connor, who's a film critic, all-round good bloke. Hello.
Oh, Petrie. You know what? You can keep all the gold statues in the world. I'll trade them all for an intro by you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I do work hard on it. Not that it's difficult for you, of course. Right, so Barbie. Oops.
Yeah, a bit of an oops. I mean, given that the plot of Barbie is about Ken discovering the patriarchy and you know, that whole element, it's kind of interesting that the director and star of Barbie get no nominations whilst the guy playing Ken gets all the love. Like, I mean, you hate to be really cynical and say the Oscars are back, baby, but they kind of are in that sense. Like, that's a very 10 years ago move, that one.
It really seems to be, doesn't it? When it's, you know, it was a female director and, you know, all about feminism and all of that. Interesting.
The weird thing about it, though, as well, is Greta Gerwig still kind of gets to hold a record for this. So Greta Gerwig is still the first filmmaker ever whose first 3 movies have been nominated for Best Picture. Like, that's a real achievement.
That is pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah, and not bad at all.
Not the first woman, the first director.
Person, full stop. Just a first director, full stop. Like, I don't remember Spielberg, Nolan, anyone like that managing it. So, yeah, hats off to Greta Gerwig for that.
Wow. Mind you, we're not surprised that Oppenheimer has done so. I mean, and also, it seems that the Academy Award, they tend to go a bit worthy, in my view, anyway. They don't really go for the bubblegum fun movies very often.
No.
So it's not really surprising that Barbie didn't quite make it onto their worthy list. But Oppenheimer?
Yeah, Oppenheimer, I'm very happy to have been right on this one. It looks like it is Oppenheimer's year. Like, after all these years, it looks like Nolan might finally get his Oscar. I mean, this is his 5th year being nominated. And you look at the films that man has churned out, and it took Oppenheimer. I mean, there's almost a sense of The Revenant to this, where when we watched Leo get his Oscar for The Revenant, you watched it, you thought, if we didn't give it him for this, like, what was he going to put himself through?
Yeah, because that was horrendous.
Yeah, and you look at it with like, what does the man have to do?
I know.
Yeah.
Well, mind you, Killers of the Flower Moon has done well as well.
The thing with I loved Kills of the Flower Moon. I think we've talked about Kills of the Flower Moon before. I loved it. But there is I mean, it's great, but it's fine for a Scorsese movie. It's like great by any other filmmaker's standard, but like it's a fine Scorsese movie. And the weird thing, I'm triggering the Apple camera modes now, that's what it is. But the weird thing about it, like, it's a movie that it feels almost perfunctory, almost obligatory to give the Scorsese movies, like the obligatory Scorsese nominations. It was interesting that DiCaprio, for instance, got snubbed this year, which seems like an interesting thing. Like DiCaprio getting completely ignored for Kills of the Flower Moon.
I mean, that is interesting because normally, again, the Academy likes people who ugly up.
Yes, exactly that.
And DiCaprio is grim in this. I mean, he's really
just
ugly.
A smidge, yeah.
And so normally they get rewarded for that, don't they? Oh, well done, you handsome devil! You made yourself look ugly. We'll give you an Oscar.
It's the Charlize principle.
It is,
the Charlize and Monster principle.
Yeah.
I do think. I mean, the one award that I could see Kills of the Flower Moon get, which is a movie I absolutely love. Like, I don't want to feel like I'm part of this is a bad movie. Kills of the Flower Moon's awesome, But I think the only award it seriously is going to walk away with, and it stands a chance for seriously walking away with, is Best Actress for Lily Gladstone. And so it's Gladstone versus regular old Stone in my book. It's her versus Emma Stone for Poor Things. Like, that is the Best Actress race this year. And to be fair, I was 50-50 on how that's going to go, just as I would for Best Actor this year. I think it's 50-50 between Paul Giamatti and Cillian Murphy. So, you know, it's an easy one to bet, but the bets are usually between two candidates this year. It's a predictable year, minus any love for Saltburn, strangely, or Andrew Scott for All of Us Strangers, or, as we say, Greta Gerwig and Margot Robbie for Barbie. I just cannot get over that. That is insane.
Yes, it really is.
Honestly.
What are we looking at for Best Supporting Actor? Because that's got to be Downey Jr.'s got to. He's got to be favourite to win, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think this is going to the RDJ. I think this is. I mean, I think this is DiCaprio. Downey Jr.'s third time, I think, being nominated for an Oscar, and this goes back to like the early '90s. This goes back to like Chaplin. You know, Downey's long overdue an Oscar. But also, if he gets it, just consider that we're just past. I mean, it will have been the 15-year mark since Iron Man came out, when Oppenheimer came out. It would have been, I think it's 15 years and about 2 months. And if he bags the Oscar, the Best Supporting Actor Oscar for that is the ultimate comeback story. That trounces Travolta in the late 90s. You take where Downey Jr. was in 2008 to now, and you give him an Oscar as the cherry on top. That is the all-time comeback story.
And he is almost, I mean, like I said, he is due one, and he did Ugly Up. So
he did Ugly Up. So, yeah. I mean, he literally just shaved his head. That's his version of Ugly Up, is shaving his head.
You see, that proves my theory. That is my theory about
you Ugly Up in black and white, you get an award. That's the rule.
That's the rule.
We also Tropic Thunder.
That's the rule. Just Ugly Up. And play somebody really dislikable, and then you're fine. You're up. You're in.
I mean, if that's the case, I mean, like, Bradley Cooper will be walking away with it this year, and I don't think he stands a chance in hell. Very interesting, notably, that they left Bradley Cooper off the director list. Like, that guy got argoed. He got properly argoed, which is, we love your movie, we love you in it, but you ain't a director, buddy, sorry. Which is strange, because I watched Maestro, which I thought was a terrible movie, and the best thing about it was Bradley Cooper's direction, strangely enough.
Yeah. But you're either in or you're not, and that's clearly Bradley Cooper's got some work to do yet. Okay, let's turn to, because when is the Oscars? When do they happen?
March the 10th, I believe.
March the 10th, okay. But these are all sort of kind of locked in now, aren't they? We know what we're heading for. It's going to be one of those nights where it's Oppenheimer on the stage. Haven't they got almost as many nominations as Titanic, who was the most nominated film?
Oppenheimer has 13 nominations. Now, the record is 14, and it's split 3 ways. I think it's All About Eve, Titanic, and there's another one. I think it might be Lord of the Rings. It might be Lord of the Rings. Might be Return of the King, I think. But I know that Titanic and All About Eve are 2 of the 3 that have the 14.
Yeah, so they're just going to be. It's going to be Oppenheimer, isn't it?
I don't think Nolan's having trouble sleeping tonight somehow. I think he's sleeping just fine. I think he's feeling good.
Yeah, and Cillian Murphy. I mean, goodness me, fairly. I mean, I say fairly new, but I mean, if he gets an Oscar, he's set, isn't he?
Hey, Cillian had a sponge cake to celebrate, apparently. Like, this has already come out in an interview.
I like him already.
Made a sponge cake.
His
mum made a sponge cake and they had some tea. That's it.
Anyone that celebrates with cake is fine by me. Let's have a very quick look, because we're running out of time. We've got about 3 minutes. A couple of your films. Take us straight into Jackdaw.
I mean, I'll be really quick on this because we're pushed for time. I'll just tell you that Jackdaw is about, it's sort of an Irish attempt at doing like Drive with an ex-motocross driver. It stars Oliver Jackson Cohen. It's absolutely rubbish. I won't even ask you to play the clip. It's
not
garbage.
Play the clip.
Let's talk about The Colour Purple. Really
yeah,
can
I just say that what really annoys me about The Colour Purple is the spelling of the word colour. It drives me absolutely nuts. I can't bear it's the American spelling.
They've been fudging it in the marketing as well. They put the U in colour occasionally, here and there, just to throw us. So this is not an adaptation of the movie or the novel. This is an adaptation of the stage musical adaptation of the novel, rather like we had Matilda a year or so back. This stars Fantasia and Danielle Brooks and Taraji P. Henson. You got a little cameo in there for Whoopi Goldberg, who had played the main character in the 1985 Spielberg version. And it is the generational family story of, young women growing up in segregation era Georgia. Starts in the early 20th century, carries through over decades, and we see these characters played by different actors. We've got a clip. Have we got time for the clip really quickly? I think it's like 40 seconds. Here's a clip. I'll leave you with this one.
Don't keep me waiting.
You keep your head held high, just like Mom taught us.
Whatever I say, go.
You got to stand up.
Hell no. There's gonna be some changes made.
This ain't me. Hush. We need to look like we belong.
It's time to see the world. Hell no. Oh, Miss Seeley, you look good.
And this comes out on Friday. In the cinema. And Oprah Winfrey's weight loss made me. That's another.
Well, I mean, it's produced by like Oprah, Spielberg, and Quincy Jones, so it's got some pedigree behind this one. I will be honest, I was going into it expecting it to be dire, like it's not my kind of movie. Didn't particularly like the original, but the original 85 version. But it got me. It got me. I was going along with the music.
If it got you, I'll give it a go.